So today we are going to discuss about the means models, three service models, which is the software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, and additional service models. But we will discuss in our remaining time of today only the software as a service. So here we go. And what will be the learning outcomes you will be able to learn? So on the completion of this topic, you will be able to explain the different characteristics and analyze the suitability of the pros and cons different for the different cloud service model, such as the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So along with the that you will be able to, this is means actually align with the MLO2 of your course, which is the compare and evaluate the multiple cloud applications using the cloud platforms. So here we go. As you can know very means clearly that these are the actually three different service models. So you can see the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, and basic cloud service models are. And we know that SaaS is actually mainly handling about the software. So it is providing the services by providing the services which are related to the software. That's why we call it the software as a service. And after that, we will discuss about the PaaS. The PaaS is actually the platform as a service. And finally, we will discuss about the IaaS, and we will see means how it is means different from others and what are the pros and cons for each of one service model as well. So you know that cloud computing provide the resources, different type of resources, including the network, computing, execution, storage, and databases, different applications on demand, commodity services, that what we just discussed right now in our previous chapter, and end user services, online services, cloud services, and the web services, so on. So these services are provided and managed how we are means grouping them based on the means cloud service models. So we see that how and which model is there. I hope that you are very much aware about that. That's what we discussed earlier, not in a great detail, but we already discussed about that. That what are the models, and also we discussed that how the cloud deployment models are as well. So you remember that we discussed that the public cloud and private cloud and hybrid cloud and community cloud, and also at that time we discussed a little bit about the means deployment, sorry, the basic cloud service models, but we didn't discuss in a detail. So now is a time to discuss in a detail, to differentiate among them and to know what are the pros and what are the cons among each of the service model. So today we are going to start right from now. Their arrangement is like in this way. Infrastructure as a service is always means a lower level, the bottom level, and that means the second one, which is known as the PaaS, which is known as the means the platform as a service, that is in the middle level, and the SaaS is actually at the means very up at the top level, where we are providing the softwares as a service to the users, end users, and the industry as well. So today we are discussing about the SaaS. So here we start. First, we will see that understanding what it is. Then we will try to see what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks from this one. So this is how we will do for the PaaS, and this is how we'll do for the IaaS, and this is how we go for the some other service models as well. So for this, it's simple as I mentioned to you. In traditional software models, as you remember, we whatever the traditional model we want to use, we have to install that software, and then we will be able to means install and configure, and then we will be able to use that. But while we are using the SaaS, which is the cloud-based means actually, and in that particular part, we are not supposed to install most of the time the things, but we can use them with the help of the browser. That what we just discussed in our previous class. So SaaS delivers as the on-demand services over the internet. So we may not require to no need to install any software at the means user end. User is free. User can access so many different softwares and different services means easily without installing any of the software. That's what I hope that you understand that what you are using the different cloud services, you are only required to have, that is the browser. So you don't require any additional software for that. Okay, so SaaS services can be accessed are disconnected at any time. There is no issue. Means for the software, we need to have the other services, we need to have the software, then we have to install, and then we have to uninstall or do something when we don't want to use that. But in this particular case, we don't have any type of restriction. It's only a browser, and browser is not dedicatedly means designed for these clouds to access their services, but it is in a multi-use already. We are already using for multi-purpose. Whenever we need this part, so also we can go to access this part as well. Okay, that's why this is the one of the benefit we can say that we don't require software. Other benefit is actually that we can access it at any time and can disconnect at any time. The other benefit is that it is lightweight, means we don't require high resources to access this one. This is the most importantly, our most means easy thing for us as well. Okay. Now, what's the next? Some of these SaaS can be accessed from even a thin client, okay, that does not contain the storage space as well. There are the thin client concept. I hope you are aware about that. They don't have the storage capabilities, nothing, but even we can access. Because why? The reason is that we only require the browser to access these services. That's why it is truly simple. We can access it anytime. Now, we use them. Okay, service provided by the SaaS. What are the services provided? So many services provided. Different type of the services the SaaS is providing to us. Those services are related to the personal as an individual, to the business as for the organizations, and also those services are related to the social networks. Those services are related to the security. Means we can say that in couple of the domains they can provide us the services. One of them is the business services, if suppose we call. So then you can see that the SaaS also provide means variety of the business services. Okay, for example, we are using the ERM, CRM, billing, sales, human resource, online, so many applications that we can have access to the means SaaS. We can say through the cloud, but using the which cloud model, which is the SaaS one. So this is the SaaS is the cloud service model. So we can use this service model, and then we have a lot of different means access and different applications. We cannot even name them here, but the few of them are just only for your understanding that we use the ERM, CRM, billing, sales, human resource, and so many other things as well. Then when we go for the social network, again for the social network, there are a range of the different services which are provided by the social networks, for the social networks by the cloud using the SaaS cloud model. Okay. And as the number of the users of the social network sites is increasing, we know now the social network is very, very high. It's not only one, but there are so many applications, and each application they have the different number of the users as well. Okay, but these all of the services they can provide us easily, and again we don't require a lot of things. We can access those services just with the help of the browser as well. Now then we can go for the document management. Yes, again it is there. We can create the documents, we can manage, we can track the electronic documents, we can store the document, we can process the document. These all services are also there provided by the SaaS. Now if we suppose see for the mail service, so as you know that there are so many different mail servers are there, and those mail services are also provided by the cloud. And that is being provided by which cloud service model? That is from the SaaS, because SaaS is actually stand for the software as a service. So that's why you can notice that in the business model, those are the softwares, ERM and whatever we call. In social network, whatever the softwares we call, they are also the softwares. At the same time, when we talk about the email services, there are a lot of different email services. And you know that email is the basic backbone of the internet services, or the internet, which is the mostly being used. So these things are also handled by the cloud through using the cloud service model, which is known as the SaaS. So now I hope you understand what type of services are, and there are so many as well, but we just added the few of them, the few groups of them, just to give you a right understanding that what these things are in actual. Now, when we go for the different characteristics, now we know that what type of the services they are providing. We're going a bit faster. The reason is that these things are very simple. Okay, there is no technicality. That's why we are just going a bit means faster. So what are the characteristics? So many. So here we are also trying to discuss few of them. The first and most important character of the SaaS is one to many. Means one to many. This is, I hope that you are aware about the relationship model in the database. So you know one to many to many like that. So here we provide one to many. Means a one cloud, one service model can means control to many users globally. Okay. What's the second character? The second character is about the web access. It can provide us the web access. It can means we can access, the users can access to the softwares using the web, the browsers. That's what we are discussing. But the next, centralized management. Means whatever we are using, users just need the web browser, but where it is reside, where it is execute, where it is stored, everything it is means centrally managed at a one place. So security is managed at one place, execution is managed at one place, everything is the one point. So that's what we mean that SaaS is being managed at the central point. So that's what we call the centralized management. Okay, multi-device support as well. It doesn't mean that if suppose SaaS is only providing one type of the devices, multi-device of services. And you know that the browser is the application which actually the lightweight and by default installed on most of the devices. So wherever the device is there, whatever the device is there, if we have the browser, so you can be able to access these SaaS services as well. So this is truly simple and this is truly easy as well. Better means very better scalability, very highly availability, and you can integrate the any of the means API integration. No issue of the scalability, no issue of the availability, because there is no software which is just going to be means scrapped or which is going to be malfunctioning or which is going to be means an issue. Mostly you notice that your browsers are very rarely they go for a crash, but then you have a multiple different options of your browsers. You can use any of the browser and you will be able to access the cloud services. So this is the another character of the SaaS as well. Then the SaaS is a popular among individuals in organizations, in small organizations because it's easy, because it's independent. It doesn't require any resources. It only requires the default resources of the machine and you can do for it to install. And it can provide you the on-demand services. You remember what we talked about the commodity services. So whatever the services you require, you can use, you can access, and then you can pay for that particular part. So these are the different characteristics among the few characteristics of the SaaS. Now you can see the software for the startup companies, the softwares for the means compatible with the multiple devices as well. That's what we discussed. So if the companies are at the startup, now they don't have the means leverage to pay a huge amount of the budgets. So now what happened? These things are out of their budget. Then they can means acquire the services from the cloud. They can use through the SaaS. And then they can use the different softwares. Okay. So that is not costly because they don't require the infrastructure, they don't require the staff members, they don't require to pay to the staff members, they don't require the machines, hardwares, they don't require to miss other additional expenses related to that one, and they are not required to pay for security or for anything. Everything will be paid, arranged by the cloud, but they are means easy for them, like the commodity service what we discussed. The means the much how much you pay, how you can go accordingly. So that's how it is easy and it is also compatible for the different devices for them. So you can see that these all are the different characteristics and we can call these as the properties of the SaaS model as well. Sorry. Now, software with the varying loads. Okay. So we can use the social networks, we can use the different applications, we can use anytime. You notice that it is very difficult to handle the varying loads with the traditional infrastructure. That is not possible. But if suppose we are using the cloud model, it is dynamic, scalable, having higher capabilities, easy to manage. easy to control, and faster as well, and very much means attractive as well in terms of its scalability and its efficiency. Now, real-time applications. This is the another advantage. You can access remotely. You can access from any point. Not required that you are means accessing from uh, your office. You can access from anywhere, and you can access anytime, anywhere, but you will be having an access to the real-time means to the applications. That is the actually most important part, which is available only with this one. Okay. Now, it's better, it's good, it's best for so many things. But you remember, as we discussed it all the time, the coin has two sides. The second side is that it is not good for some things, for some cases, for some options. So application with the confidentiality of data. You remember we discussed in our the means deployment models as well. If we have confidentiality, highly confidentiality, we cannot depend on the SaaS services because it's publicly available through the browser. It can be compromised. Data security can be an issue for us. Third party can be means uh, creating a problem for us. So that's what it is not recommended. It's not recommended at all that we can be having the access for that one. Okay. Means in that particular case, it is not good. That we don't want to go for that particular thing. Otherwise, this is means very fine. This is very good in all of the cases. Okay. Better on the premise application. So we can see that it is not suitable.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
You told us last class to remind you about the attendance earlier.
My dear, we already done with attendance.
Really, sir? Because I didn't notice the attendance.
No, we already done for the attendance. When we switched from one chapter to another chapter, then we started the second chapter.
Okay,
You can
I know.
check.
I missed the attendance.
Okay. No problem. Then at the end of the class, you can just remind me. We will try to manage it. Okay.
Okay.
We are just ending in 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So going ahead. So now we can discuss about the pros and the means about the source and there. What are the means benefits and what are the means cons about this. So if we call about the pros, that's what we means talk about the different characteristics about this one. So they all are the actually mostly we can means keep them as a pros. So you can see that the no client side installation is required. That's what we already discussed previously. So we don't require any installation. We don't require any software. We don't require any license. We don't require any hardware. We don't require any memory. So there are so many things we can means explain it in detail. Cost saving as well, because we don't require anything, so we don't require to pay. But only we need to pay the services whatever how much amount we are using. Now going ahead, less maintenance. For sure, we don't have software, we don't have hardware, we don't have anything, we don't have. So maintenance is actually not our responsibility. So at our end, it is very easy and very less amount is required for the maintenance. Ease of the access. Okay, it is very simple and it's very easy for access as we discussed that we can do it with the browsers and dynamic scaling. There is no means scalability issue that we can say this is only for this much number of users. But any person, any number of people they can use. So this is the dynamic scaling as well. Disaster recovery. This is the most important. If suppose we have the software at our own premises, then probably we will face an issue in case if suppose the disaster is going to be there. And we ourselves are responsible to make the disaster recovery. Sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's not possible. But in this case, that's not our part. So that is also means known as the benefit of using the source. Okay. So now multi-tenancy means it is not being, the cloud is not being held by one. It's not being owned by one. There are so many people. There are so many organizations. There are so many means giant companies. There are so many SMEs. So you can see that this is a group of the companies. So it is being used by the group of the companies, and normally it is being held by the group of companies as well. So this is the another benefit. So we can share the applications, and there is no means conflict in this. So we are means considering this as the means pros of the cloud infrastructure, cloud service model. This service model. But as you remember that we always say that always there are the pros and cons. This is natural. So when we say these all are the pros, but there are the cons as well. What are the means those? So the security is the one and the most important part. When we say that in the pros that security is means very least managed by us, that's okay benefit. But it's not the benefit, not goes to the benefit, because security, how it is being managed, that is not in our control. That is being managed, how it's being managed, and what's the surety that the contents are secure or whatever it is, or something is happened to our contents. We are maybe some of the time we are maybe not even knowing that what happened to our contents. Okay, so this is the security is the big issue. So that's what we mean that if suppose we have a very highly confidential, then in that particular case we may not be going to use the cloud, or we may go for that. In that particular case we may only go for the our private cloud deployment model. Connectivity requirement, this becomes the important part. We don't require anything, hardware no, human resource no, software no, but we need the internet connection, a proper internet connection. So connectivity requirement is the primary thing. If we don't have that, it means we will not be able to have the access to our means softwares at any time. So this become the means one of the what we can call the cons. If suppose when we say it is cons, so it means we are comparing this with our softwares or hardware or this infrastructure. If suppose we consider that it is at our premises in that particular case. So if we have the machines on our office, so there is no means issue for the internet connectivity, but in that particular case we have to. So now the what are the other cons? The loss of control. Sometimes you suppose disconnectivity. Sometimes suppose the cloud is means offline. Whatever it is, that is not in our control that we can bring it back. So we will be looking for the third party. We cannot do anything, even though we have everything, but we cannot. So these are the few of the pros and cons for this model, and I hope that you got it clear. Now you can see that the popular source providers, which are the cloud means services, which are providing this source cloud service model. So you can see that Salesforce. I hope you are aware about the Salesforce. Maybe we started the some sort of certification about Salesforce as well. Google Apps, Microsoft Office, NetSuite, and there are so many. I mean, Oracle, Intel, so many. It means we cannot list them here. So these are the popular services providers by for the source by the different clouds. So I hope you understand about this, which is for the source, and then we are stopping here, and we will start for the POS, which is the platform as service, from our next class. So we are ending up here. Thank you very much, and just remind me, gentlemen, about your attendance. But before that, we just need 10 minutes to discuss about your midterm. So here we go. We just stop the recording.